Now, we're going to then now move on to another festival, but we're actually going to talk about a festival that already happened. And did it go well? That remains to be seen, because what I want to show you here, Dave, is I want to show you a collection of clips here from social media of Ultra Music Festival, or what I describe as Ultra Chaos. Maybe that's a bit of a clickbaity title, but whatever. Ultra. No, Dave, let me tell you.
Chaos.
Ultra Chaos. What went down?
That's a name for a compilation. I love it.
Absolutely. So what went down in Miami? So I'm going to quickly show you a load of clips here of some of the things that went on here. I think some of these do have audio as well. But let me just quickly show you some of these, because they were shocking beyond all description. So let me show you this one here. Look, so this fine gentleman here.
It looks like Creamfields.
Would you expect that in Miami, Dave?
Yeah, they're downpours. You look so upset.
Well, you would be, mate. I know I would be.
Don't you remember Creamfields whenever it rained, it just meant everyone just got more off their face, sort of thing? It was just sort of. Do you remember the guy swimming in the mud like he was a mermaid? Then again, we sort of own that in England. We own the whole "if it rains, just roll with it" type of mentality. You know what I mean?
Now, what I'll show you this is. This is crazy.
What happens?
So this is the end of the video, but we'll loop back to the beginning.
I've been there before. We're in pub shows.
For audio listeners, what we're looking at here is we're looking at Ultra Music Festival in Miami, and we're looking at some severe rainstorms. And how that is, like that's a few inches, isn't it? This is crazy. I'm not quite sure what we're looking at here. We're looking at. I'm hoping they're not just random people, but I think they're like crew members doing some last-minute maintenance work to one of the tents.
I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was Greenfields 2012. It was the year they got the second day cancelled. Do you remember? And we woke up and the tent turned into a boat, essentially. We were sort of floating around on it.
Oh, yeah.
The night before, we went to see the Chemical Brothers, and there was literally pillars holding up that tent that were falling over because it was that muddy and wet. And I remember we went to see the Chemical Brothers, and it was just like stupid. And then we went to the next tent to see Marcus Schultz, and everyone was raving round a bog in the middle of the floor. And people were getting stuck. I visibly remember someone trying to walk through that tent, and they got stuck, and a bunch of people had to pull them out. And the wellies were stuck in the middle of this raving quagmire, like swamp. I so wish I recorded some of this, mate. It was the most random thing I ever saw. But yeah, I mean, I look at that, right, and you know, it is kind of deep water, but it's also very clean. You know what I mean? There's no mud or anything like that, or anything. You know, it's just there's water.
Well,
and it's probably pretty warm as well. So I wouldn't really give a shit personally. I'd probably still rave.
I'm not. Well, I mean, we know anyway, just based on like, you know, when it's like you said, when it's bad weather over here, when we were going to Creamfields, we just sort of got on with it, I guess.
With it. Yeah, and I think that's sort of just because we're used to it, to be honest with you. But like I said, that lad who's a bit sort of bummed out that it was raining, I can guarantee you if that was in Creamfields, there would have been mud all over his face and he would have been diving in it like he loved it, you know what I mean? He was like, yeah! So...
Well, all I'll say is that obviously it wasn't the be-all and end-all for Ultra Music Festival. Those that attended did get a good time out of it, despite some of the weather. But what we will say is or what I will read from here, Ultra Music Festival 2025 was one to remember for mixed reasons for those who attended and performed. The festival was troubled with severe rainstorms and had to close temporarily while storms battered Miami. DJ Meg article on this subject wrote, quote, Ultra Music Festival's 25th anniversary edition has been temporarily closed due to severe weather. On the final day of the festival, heavy rain and thunderstorms in Miami, where the event is taking place in Bayfront Park from Friday 28th to Sunday 30th of March, caused localized flooding. Quote, due to weather in the area, the show is being temporarily paused. A post from Ultra's official Insta page said, please seek shelter. Additional information to follow, end quote. Amidst the weather chaos, the festival didn't stop upselling their VIP packages, which also caught social media attention at the sheer price hikes for each of them. And I'm going to quickly show you now because I actually forgot to get the link.
What do you get with VIP first of all?
Wait a second. You need to see it first. In fact, actually, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this properly because the print's quite small.
Oh yeah, a bit more bigger. Holy shit, 425k? You nuts?
Right. Well, yeah. Let us get into this.
Shit?
We're gonna get into this. So, oh wait, I liked it. I know I don't like that. So basically, what we're looking at here, it's you've got a bottles menu, and I can see here Dom Perignon, brew,
fucking bottle menu,
750 ml, and is that?
It is ultra at the end of the day, isn't it? So
yeah. This is quite a lot. Is that
Dom Perignon one at a fucking rave pit? I mean, come on, dude. All right.
Different variations of Moe and Chandon as well, Dave. And yes, as you can see, you've got a bottles package as well. As you saw, the highest price one is titled "Fuck You Money," and it is $425,000. And that hang on a second. That gives you. Okay, I need to really put my face really close to the screen here. So just 2 seconds. I must read this. I swear that says 250 Moe Chandon Nectar Imperial Rosé Pharrell Williams Edition, 100 Dom Perignon Brut Luminous, and 100 Dom Perignon Rosé Luminous. Dave Collins, are you going straight to the hospital when you drink all of that?
Can you send me a link to that and I'll zoom in and I'll let you know what it says.
Well, it's in the document, mate.
Here we go.
Yes, click that and have a quick read. So, we're talking about
the highest package is "Fuck You Money" for 425k. It's Mon Chandon Nectar Imperial Rosé, the Pharrell Williams edition.
Oh hell yeah, Pharrell
100
Williams.
Dom Perignon Brut Luminous, and a 100 Dom Perignon Rosé Luminous. I don't know if I'm saying this right. This is it's kind of amazing looking at all the names of these menus. So the highest one's called "Fuck You Money." There's one here called "Disco Made Me Do It." There's one called "Cowboys versus Aliens." I don't know what the fuck that is. Interesting. There's one just called "Hell Yeah, Brother," and it's just 6 Dom Perignons for $7,000.
$7,500 for 6 bottles of what was it? Dom Perignon Luminous.
Yeah.
Now this actually is going to be brought into a context. Well, I'm actually going to use this a little bit later on in the interview with Maldini as well, because this goes into a good conversation about value for money and branding. But I'm going to keep hold of this post. And we'll come back to that in a bit. But we've got more on this as well. So other memorable highlights was the debut of Hardwell's new track "Sanctuary," along with Armin van Buuren's set, which he described as having 100% of his own productions. It didn't stop there either. Carl Cox also premiered How New Live Show at Ultra. I don't know what I've written there. Describing his aspirations of the crowd to be mayhem and chaos. Finally, the act most spoke about was Skrillex's main stage performance, which was his first in over a decade, and included old classics and some new productions, which had everyone going mad. And I've got a link here to it as well, just so we can get a quick grasp as to what went on here.
Brought new stuff out.
Oh yeah, he's got a whole new album now, mate, and everything. So yeah, so essentially, Skrillex really did blow everyone's minds with this set, and as you can see, there are quite a lot of jumping up and down from various performers as well. Quite a few people in the comments as well, also mentioning or highlighting this breathtaking performance. At Fresh New Tunes says his set was honestly one of the best ones I've heard in a while. I really hope it'll be uploaded on YouTube so we can rewatch that magic. DJ Saroni 92 says, and what a return it was. Welcome back, King. TK 94 says, top 5 best Ultra sets ever. Afrojack saying he's the GOAT. Yeah, a lot of people were absolutely loving all of this and what he was able to provide. But essentially, Dave, I want to just quickly go back to you. So obviously, Ultra Music Festival. So for those that don't know, we're talking about a huge 6-day festival. It goes over 2 weekends, if I remember rightly, at Bayfront Park in Miami. Now, in my opinion, I'm not going to lie, that when it comes to a festival like this, obviously you can't guess on the weather, but my immediate thoughts or aspirations for attending something like this is to obviously make sure that it's good. It would be great weather, and bit of and just partying in the sun. But obviously, as you saw in some of those clips earlier today,
sometimes
or earlier before, bad weather.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't quite work out. But we had that at Unknown. So
yeah, we had that at Unknown Festival as well. And yeah, so essentially there was lots to remember about, and there was definitely ups and downs for this. Like you mentioned in the other clip in regards to that chap who was looking very sad when it was raining. Did you also notice he was on an RV and not in a tent?
Oh man, don't get me started on that. What do you think about that? I think it loses the spirit.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. This is it. You see, yeah. Essentially, this is what went.
I just think it shows that American festivals are far more wealthy than UK ones, basically, right? So I think that's the way it goes down. But yeah.
Yeah, all we can say is that for us being veterans of UK and other international festivals in and around Europe mainly, but for us, we've came a long way from spending our days in a sweaty tent in Creamfields, where basically it was cold at night, but absolutely baking hot in the morning because the sun would shine through the tent and then it would warm everything up on the inside, and you've got everything closed. So you'd have to unzip yourself and gasp for oxygen, basically.
And then for breakfast, you'd have a warm Carlsberg or Carlsberg.
Or a Carlsberg in your case, Dave. I remember that well.
We smuggled in 30 cans of Carlsberg, and we
your breakfast. If you didn't want to pay extortionate prices, you'd basically be having your breakfast, which would be some form of alcohol which you've snuck into the festival, or you've just got random snacks like chocolate or whatever. It's a lot different over in Ultra Music Festival. One of the things I wanted to quickly ask you, Dave, is there was a comment on one of these. I'm going to quickly find it again. Give me 2 seconds because I saw it before. I think it's here. Hang on, I'm just looking at this one. Here we go. So, I want your opinion on this comment. So, at Alexis_table says, quote, doesn't Ultra check the freaking weather beforehand to make sure it's perfect conditions? ?
I mean, they do, but it's the weather.
What are your thoughts on that?
You can tell she doesn't live in the UK. I can tell you
but,
that. The weather is the weather.
To rephrase it though, they've got super high production stages, tents, and so on and so on. Should they be doing more?
What, invent a weather control machine? I don't understand.
Like, should they be doing more like having additional measures in place in case of rainstorms? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, it's from what I understand, Ultra takes place in the city, doesn't it? It's not like it's in the field or anything like that. It's literally a concrete festival, right?
Well, it's in the park, but it's right in the middle of a city, yeah.
But it's the park's like manufactured. It's not like natural, if you know what I mean, right? So it's probably
Yeah.
very flat for starters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as far as drainage is concerned, they're limited by where it is. Do you know what I mean? So a good example of if you do a festival in a field, is they can drill holes in the ground to basically try and get it to drain more water if it does rain, right? I think in a situation like this, you've just got to make sure where you host the festival has appropriate drainage, and that's really down to the design of the venue, right? And it probably rains so little that it's not even worth doing. Do you know what I mean? It might rain like that once a year, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the weather climate's like, but you've got to consider how much money it would take to put in like drainage countermeasures for extreme scenarios like this, and how often it actually does rain. You know,
I mean, one of the things would it be drainage to prevent flooding? Do you think that would be a
yeah.
thing that they could have done better, or do you think it would be a case of just simply having walkways where it's all covered for people, or do you think that's completely over the top? What do you think?
Yeah, it works, walkways, but you got to remember that from what I saw the footage, it wasn't exactly muddy. It was just water. Do you know what I mean? So it was literally just drainage issues, from what I could understand.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if we look at if we take another quick look at it here, quite significant buildup of water on the ground. But then again, people could maybe argue, like you said as well, Dave, how often does it flood in Miami? I mean, it might flood.
But
It
it's
might flood
clear water.
often. I don't know.
It's literally clear water. You can see through it, right? It's not like it's mud or anything like that. So, putting something on top of it is probably not worth doing. You need to drain it, right? And there's a few ways to doing that, right? I suppose the festival could put countermeasures in place to help the drainage, right, and things like that. But again, like how often have they done this and it's not been like this? Do you know what I mean? So I can see it from two angles, right?
Yeah, I mean, I will say on record that obviously I don't think many people like it when you're at a festival and it rains. You know, I'm definitely one of those in the camp of I'd prefer if it's rain. You know,
you prefer if it didn't, but it depends how you embrace it, right? And I think people go one or two ways: either they get devastated or they just go, "Yeah, fuck it, let's just go party." Right. You know what I mean? And I respect that second mentality. You know what I mean? Because don't let it ruin everything just because there's a bit of rain. I mean, the festivals aren't even out in the open; they got cover. You know, so who cares? So.
Yeah, that's usually what would be the main the main takeaway if you like for Ultra Music Festival. But however, for those of you who are interested in attending Ultra Music Festival, I think most people are still recommending it, and it is still one of the go-to festivals, especially in the dance music circuit or global circuit, if you will, in March time.